On Saturday, December 24, 2016, the federal government announced that the Boko Haram insurgency has been crushed following the invasion of the Sambisa forest, the final bastion of the Islamic group Boko Haram, by the Nigerian troops. What followed, however, are a couple of suicide bombings and attacks that were repelled. My guest on this week's edition of the program looks at the significance of conquering the forest. Hello there, a happy new year, and thank you for joining me on the program this week. I'm Gloria Ume-Ezeoke. The Nigerian army has confirmed that the Boko Haram sect have been defeated after reclaiming the Sambisa forest, a campaign that lasted for months in the 1,300 square kilometer forest in northeastern Borno state, leading to the final crushing of Boko Haram terrorists in their last enclave. That's according to the military. However, is that the end of the sect? Well, that's one big question. My guest is a former director of operations of the Nigerian army. But coming up next, the takeover of the Boko Haram stronghold, the Sambisa forest, represents a significant milestone in the fight against the insurgents. Our next report looks at the effort of the military in the forest. We'll take a listen. Jubilant troops of the Nigerian army in Damasak, a border town in Borno state. In a gleeful mood, they flaunt their fitness after the capture of the Sambisa forest, the former enclave of the Boko Haram insurgents. The Chief of Army Staff led military officers and other security agencies to celebrate with the troops. And then the Chief of Army Staff, accompanied by the chairman of the local government, light the campfire. So, what next for the Sambisa forest after deliberation?
The last enclave of the Boko Haram terrorists in the Sambisa forest has been cleared, and our troops are conducting the exploitation and the mop-up of that forest. We are also opening up roads into the forest, as well as the forest around Alagarno. This Sambisa forest is going to be one of our training grounds. This year, next year, 2017, I've already directed that we are going to conduct our Nigerian Army Small Arms Championship in that forest.
For the residents of Damasak, deliberation is worth celebrating as they narrate their ordeal.
Around 9 in the morning, everybody was just running helter-skelter for his life. And as I'm talking to you now, I spent 5 solid days inside poultry room before I find my way, to Niger Republic. Then I find my way to Maiduguri. Since then, we have been praying and nobody is here. And luckily, last year, then the effort of the military brought both the armies and the civilian JTF who are now based in Damasak.
Akwai 'yan kauyen informa wanda mun ba su lambobin waya za su gaya mana ga wuri kaza wannan akwai Boko Haram sun zo sun taru ku ga sojoji ku zo tare mun ga sojoji tare muke zuwa muna kashe su a jeji.
An elated Borno State governor hopes that the people can begin to return to their homes as soon as the military complete their mop-up operation.
In the next 2-3 months, once the Nigerian army completes the mopping up operations, I see no reason why our people cannot go back to their homes and pick up their lives from where they stopped. Unfortunately, some international organizations are renting houses in Maiduguri for 5 years, thinking that this madness will continue for the next 5 years. This madness is coming to an end, and by the grace of God, our people are going back to their home.
Meanwhile, after taking over the Sambisa forest in the military's final battle, there are questions about the whereabouts of the remaining abducted Chibok girls. The military has promised that the search for the girls will continue nonetheless. In our interview, a former director of operations in the Nigerian Army, retired General Garba Wahab, gives insights on the fight against insurgency. Well, retired General Garba Wahab, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, madam.
Well, the federal government has just announced a capture of the Sambisa forest, the stronghold of the Boko Haram. What does this send out? What sort of message does this send out about the fight against insurgency?
The declaration is that the main headquarters, the epicenter of the whole issue, is now in federal government's hand. But that does not mean the end of the whole crisis. If you take example as to what is happening in Iraq right now, where Lieutenant General Townsend said it would take the Americans and the coalition 2 years, even if they captured Mosul and Raqqa, to actually burn out the Islamic State. We should look at that and relate it back to Nigeria. We are still going to have some skirmishes, some bombings going over here and there.
Which we already do have.
Yes, it will continue for some time. It's left for the average Nigerian to be security conscious. Things cannot just be wished away like that. But the capture of the headquarters means so much, means a lot. You have to relocate. You have to start finding a new area. And thank God we have Chad and Niger and Benin Republic and Cameroon in the fight against Boko Haram. So to get a new headquarters as fortified as Sambisa would be a massive issue.
Well, I mean, with the advent of improved technology and a whole lot more that can be done, that can be used rather, to aid their communication, do they really need another location like that to be successful?
You really need somewhere to operate from, no matter what you do. That is why, even in Iraq, al-Baghdadi had to move out to Mosul when Mosul was becoming untenable for him, into the desert. You need a place to operate from. You can't be mobile, 100% mobility. It's not possible. And it is not left for the government and the other countries to leverage on the Americans and British for satellite security or satellite imagery, because it's very important.
Which we don't really have, do we?
We don't really have it. Even if you have, the resolution matters. The download matters. The period it takes you to get those information matters. Interpretation matters. So you have so many things that comes in. And since the Americans are playing along with us now, it is better for us to seriously leverage on them. Whatever they have, they should be able to give us. Even sending messages on the internet, it's not as fair as the average Nigerian believes.
True.
Everybody you have a record in the Pentagon. So if you send a message, if the American wants to pick you, it's very easy to pick you. So we should leverage on that seriously and get so much from them.
You see, when you assess the intelligence the army has got, a lot of people have criticized the level of intelligence operating or emanating from there. And then when you also assess the enthusiasm, the political will, do you think, can this work together when we don't have adequate intelligence going on there?
The intelligence had improved so much. And that's why some recent developments that actually happened. And we allowed our intelligence system to go down the drain for a long time. It's been built over the period. It's going to take some time. But even if the intelligence is super, you still need assistance from elsewhere. And that's why I said we should leverage on the Americans, because they are far ahead of everybody in the world. Maybe except of the Chinese. They're far ahead. And whatever we need right now, they have a unit in Niger Republic. That's a drone unit is in Niger Republic. And that drones unit flies their drones all over continuously. So they have the information we really need. If they really want to assist us, they should be able to give it to us.
But that forest is quite huge.
It's huge.
Can they sustain this victory?
It is not the forest per se. It is where they were operating from. Camp Z,
Zero?
Camp S. So those two camps, getting those two camps mattered a lot. Because when you say, it's not just a small place. It's the green area leading between Nigeria, Chad, and Sudan. It's a massive expanse of land. So, but the area that really matters more is what had been grabbed right now. So it is possible, but then you have to bring in so many other people. And that's why I keep on saying, what we have now, we should be moving towards stabilization operation, which involves virtually everybody. The media, the armed forces, other security agencies, customs, immigration, whatever. So a lot of people come in. The arrest of somebody in Lagos shows you that everybody will move out. They will disperse. So you need to be able to get on top of what is actually happening, which the government, I'm sure, is doing right now.
I'm reading your body language, and you sound just a little bit uncertain about, the sort of awareness that's going on at the moment, or the victory that could be sustained.
I am not. It's not that I'm an optimistic. I've said that before. Yes, this thing, like December deadline was given, and people said it's not possible. Or this deadline to get this place was not possible. It's possible. So a lot of things are possible. But are the average Nigerians buying into what is happening? Go onto the internet. Read what people are saying.
That's exactly where I was going to.
Because we don't believe in ourselves. Because the average Nigerian does not trust themselves. We believe that somebody from outside should come and do the job. Nobody's going to assist you. You have to raise your hand to do something before others will come in. The Americans will not come in. Now they can come in. You've been able to do something. You've been able to grab the main headquarters of Boko Haram. It means you are beginning to be serious. That is the message. Secondly, is for a very long time, the international system felt, look, this was an homegrown problem. Why don't you solve it within? But it is beyond Nigeria. Since the other 4 countries are joining, now we've been able to get a lot of people to come in. We should stop reporting this issue as if this is a Nigerian issue. It's not a Nigerian issue. It had gone beyond Nigeria. And that's why even the Islamic State dropped its name from ISIS to IS right now. Because when you clarify, when you say Islamic State in Syria and Iraq, it means they are operating in only those 2 areas. They expanded to the Levant. The Levant is Middle East up to North Africa. Now they realize that you are shortening the support base. Let's leave it as Islamic State. And so that can include Nigeria, it can include Benin Republic, it can include Cameroon. So we should stop looking at this issue as if this is a Nigerian issue. We should leverage on the fact that there is war, global war on terrorism.
But the fact that we have infiltrations, which might still be possible, does that bother you?
It does not bother me much.
Why?
Inasmuch as we know what we are actually out there against. If you don't have a knowledge of what you're facing, that's where the problem is coming from. And that's why I'm involved in one or two things with Defense Headquarters, to let them know, we are doing sensitization for the Chief of Defense Staff. Let the average soldier there understand what he is facing. Let him be aware of what the problems are. So we've gone to about 7, 8 states right now, spoken to them. All the services, not just, I'm just saying soldier, I don't mean only soldier, Army, Navy, Air Force. Get them together, talk to them. Look, you need to understand the problem you have right now. Everybody is depending on you. You must be above board. The call for duty is over above the normal thing, high-faced. Now it is more than that. And so you can't just feel, I've done my job. Your job can never be finished. It is a continuous thing. And once you know that problem, so you keep on working. Whatever the problem is, you keep on trudging on. But we need to, secondly, drag the other security agencies along, assist in manpower development, assist in training, so that everybody will be talking on at the same level. So that's what we're doing right now. And that's why I said I have that optimistic view because of what I'm involved in. But my fear is for the average Nigerian to believe that, look, it is not just the job for these people. It is everybody's responsibility.
All right, hold on with your thoughts. So we're still with retired General Garba Wahab, the former Director of Operation Nigerian Army. Join us again for more on the fight against insurgency.